definition, intersectionality is a theory on analyzing how class, race, and gender intersect with feminism. The word intersection means a point where one or more things overlap each other. With this theory, there are three different categories: race, gender, and class, that affect intersection in on many different levels, which ultimately contribute to the social inequality, especially for women. In the class the past few weeks, we've been talking about different cultures and how they're related to feminism. And it was actually really interesting to see how different cultures were looked at, such as Latina feminism, Islamic feminism, Caribbean feminism, African American feminism, and Hispanic feminism have basically been influenced by feminism, how they portray themselves when it comes to feminism. For example, when black women, majority of them, when they hear the word feminism, they think of white upper class women. That's only what feminism looks at. You have to be that certain stereotype in order to even be considered a feminist. They think that they're also double marginalized because they're still fighting for the equality of their skin color and also the equality of being a woman. Many women across the world don't believe that they can be a part of a feminism movement. Women that live in Honduras believe that if they were to become a part of feminism, they would have to leave their families and abandon their kids in order to become a feminist. And if they were to become a feminist, they would be looked negatively upon in society. Immigration can also affect feminism too, even though it's not really part of the intersectionality, but it does. Women have to leave their home in order to have better opportunities for jobs, have better opportunities for just making and having a better life. And eventually, this experience kind of lets them break through or break against their cultural differences and cultural restrictions and be able to become more open to the concept of feminism, and they don't feel like they're discriminated against because they're not white. According to Candace Torres, and Caribbean feminism, social class is a hot topic. Feminists don't like to talk about such things, and these folks who are feminists, some say class shouldn't matter, race shouldn't matter, gender shouldn't matter, gender identity shouldn't matter. We all are the same even though we're all different. PowerPoint, Women's Studies 101, 2:16:12, slides 1 through 4. If you were to give someone a name or identify them and give them a stereotype, you should be able to embrace their differences even though they're different from you, and everyone should be treated as equal. In an article, Selling Hot Pussy by the author Bell Hooks, she believes that no one in the world will be considered a individual because a lot of people have their own perceptions of different people, and they make assumptions just because of how they look or how they act. According to Selling Hot Pussy, despite her experiences of abuse rooted in sexist and racist objectification, Turner appropriated the wild woman image. Bell Hooks, page 119, paragraph 4. This quote is talking about Tina Turner. She was portrayed in the media as a sex god, and most black women, after the stereotype came out, were stereotyped as being exotic or being extremely sexualized. In a Latina culture, they compare, because when you think about a Latina stereotype, you think of big hips, big derriere, good dance moves, dark skin, long exotic hair, curvy figure. Most of the time when you think of Latina stereotype, you think of someone as Jennifer Lopez. You look at the Grammys and you see Jennifer Lopez wearing a low-cut shirt revealing all of her body parts versus someone like Reese Witherspoon or Cameron Diaz, who is wearing more high-cut, classier outfits, which again makes Latinas and blacks become more sexualized. When in the article No Ugly Women, they refer to the concept that relates to both beauty and race, and that's the whiter the better, the ideal beauty. Casanova, page 291, paragraph 1. basically talks about if you don't fit the white stereotype, which is tall, skinny, blonde hair, long hair, blue eyes, you're not considered beautiful. So a lot of the times they won't think their natural beauty is good enough, and they will try to fix them to be more of a white stereotypes, like black women dyeing their hair white, or them wearing like lighter makeup to make their skin look lighter, like Latinas. In Islam, it's completely different. They're not sexualized at all. They're only looked at as being beautiful and not as having brains or being smart. They are seen as property and objects, and they're not seen as an individual. They are property and objects, like I said. That's basically what their culture is. They have to wear burqas in order to shield their beauty, because beauty is a precious thing to the Islamic culture. They have no rights, and it's just really difficult for them to become feminists because of the restrictions that they have from their culture. A lot of women are using the Quran, which is a male central text, in order to kind of basically wrap feminism up into that culture and the cultural restrictions, to basically give the Islamic women more room to move and not be seen as just a pretty face, but more as an individual. A lot of richer women who are Islamic are wearing bathing suits and not wearing their burqas. If this keeps happening over and over repetition, which is also like Braidote's theory about repetition, something being repeated over and over again, and eventually it will become normal and accepted by society, and hopefully someday the Islamic culture the women will be seen as more than just objects if this keeps happening over and over again. In the article, Theorizing the Politics of Islamic Feminism, that last part, we was talking about Islam, was from Candice Bossi Torres, the PowerPoint, Women's Studies 101, date 2/23/12, slides 1 through 15. And in the Theorizing the Politics of Islamic Feminism, gender is a site of exercise of power, which is unequally distributed and hierarchically organized. The main struggle is over the struggle of women in both private and public spheres of life. Islamic religion plays a significant role in the struggle over gender power, and that's Mojab, page 135, paragraph 2. In addition, certain cultures also look at if you have a boy, if they have more of a boy preference for babies. A lot of times, if a man would find out that the woman is pregnant with a girl, they can abort it in order to have a male child, so the child would be able to bring on the family name, and also be accepted more from society, because men are more accepted than women. Also, when it comes, the last thing I want to say is when it comes to intersectionality, I want to talk about the class aspect. If you're a higher class woman, you have more education, you're accepted by society because higher education opens more doors, and you can be seen as more smart, as a smart individual, not just as a pretty face or a woman, or unlike you're in a lower class, a lot of the times, if you're lower class women and you don't have a lot of education, then a lot of times you're looked negatively upon society because they feel like that maybe you didn't do enough to become more than just a pretty face. A lot of the times people are discriminated against because of the fact that they are lower class and not have as much education. Maybe they didn't have the opportunity. Like some people in Honduras don't have a lot of that opportunity because there are restrictions. A lot of times you're just seen as being in the home and working at home. And Islamic women too, they're seen as working in the home and they can't go out and have a real life because they're stuck in a male-dominated world. Thank you for watching my video diary, and I hope you enjoyed it.